Getting Things Done by David Allen Summary. The single best productivity book I have ever read. This book will teach you how to capture and create action items, aka tasks, organize all your projects and reference information, and keep it up to date. Pair this with Tiago Forte's PARAS system, start using progressive summarization, and you'll be in the top 1% of organized people. It will change your life. Summary Part 1. The Art of Getting Things Done. 1. A new practice for a new reality. There are 3 key objectives. 1. Capture all the things to get done, or that have usefulness for you, outside your head, and therefore off your mind. 2. Decide about what inputs you allow into your life, which dictate your list of next actions. 3. Continue to curate and coordinate all that content, so you can access it at any time. If it's on your mind isn't clear. Anything unfinished must be captured in a trusted system outside your mind. To manage commitments, you need 1. A system for capturing anything unfinished. 2. To clarify what the commitment is and decide what you have to do to make progress. 3. To have regular reminders of the things you need to accomplish. Most often, the reason something is on your mind is that you want it to be different than it currently is, and yet, you haven't clarified exactly what the intended outcome is. You haven't decided what the very next physical action step is, or you haven't put reminders of the outcome and the action required in a system you trust. 2. Getting control of your life. The 5 steps of mastering workflow. The 5 steps of mastering workflow. 1. Capture what has our attention. 2. Clarify what each item means and what to do about it. 3. Organize the results, which presents the options we. 4. Reflect on, which we then choose to. 5. Engage with. Capture. You need somewhere to put everything: physical tray, digital tool, etc. Minimize the number of capture locations. Empty the capture tools regularly. Clarify. Be clear about what is required and how it's going to get done. Is it actionable? What's the next action? Do it, delegate it, or defer it. Organize. Make sure things are where you expect them to be. For non-action items, trash, incubation, reference. For action items, add to project, a calendar, a list of reminders. Projects. Any desired result that can be accomplished within a year that requires more than one action step. You should have an index of projects where you capture relevant information and tasks. Your calendar should contain time-specific actions, day-specific information. For actions, they should go on a next actions list, not your calendar. Reflect. Step back and review the whole picture of your work and life. You should review your projects, next actions, and inbox once every week. This is critical for success. Engage. You need to make choices about what actions to pursue next. One model is to choose based on context, time available, energy available, and priority. 3. Getting projects creatively underway. The 5 phases of project planning. The key ingredients in relaxed control are 1. Clearly defined outcomes, projects, and the next actions required to move them toward closure. And 2. Reminders placed in a trusted system that is reviewed regularly. This is what I call horizontal focus. The natural planning model. Your mind goes through 5 steps to accomplish virtually any task. 1. Defining purpose and principles. 2. Outcome visioning. 3. Brainstorming. 4. Organizing. 5. Identifying next actions. Natural planning is not necessarily normal. Have you clarified the primary purpose of the project and communicated it to everyone who ought to know it? And have you agreed on the standards and behaviors you'll need to adhere to in order to make it successful? Have you envisioned success and considered all the innovative things that might result if you achieved it? Have you gotten all possible ideas out on the table? Everything you need to take into consideration that might affect the outcome? Have you identified the mission-critical components, key milestones, and deliverables? Have you defined all the aspects of the project that could be moved on right now, what the next action is for each part, and who's responsible for what? Part 2. Practicing stress-free productivity. 5. Capturing, corralling your stuff. The key processing question: what's the next action? If there is no action, it's likely trash, items to incubate, or reference material. The action step needs to be the absolute next physical thing to do. If the next action requires less than 2 minutes, do it right away. If the next action requires more than 2 minutes, ask, am I the best person to be doing it? If not, delegate. 7. Organizing, setting up the right buckets. There are 7 primary types of things you'll want to keep track of. A projects list, project support material, calendar actions and information, next actions lists, a waiting for list, reference material, a someday/maybe list. These all need to be kept separate. The most common categories of action reminders: calls, at computer, errands, at office, miscellaneous, at home, anywhere, agendas for people and meetings. Read/review. Be careful about dispersing action reminders. You need to make sure all the areas you have them are reviewed regularly. The projects lists. A complete and current projects list is the major operational tool. The projects list is not meant to hold plans or details about your projects themselves, nor should you try to keep it arranged by priority or size or urgency. It's just a comprehensive index of your open loops. Remember, you can't do a project. You can only do the action steps it requires. Some common ways to subsort projects: personal/professional, delegated projects. If you're an exec or manager, for example, specific types of projects, example, keynote speaker with many presentations. 8. Reflecting, keeping it all fresh and functional. What is the weekly review? Very simply, the weekly review is whatever you need to do to get your head empty again and get oriented for the next couple of weeks. It's going through the steps of workflow management, capturing, clarifying, organizing, and reviewing all your outstanding commitments, intentions, and inclinations until you can honestly say, I absolutely know right now everything I'm not doing but could be doing if I decided to. From a practical standpoint, here is the 3-part drill that can get you there. Get clear, get current, and get creative. Getting clear will ensure that all your collected stuff is processed. Getting current will ensure that all your orienting maps or lists are reviewed and up to date. The creative part happens to some degree automatically. As you get clear and current, you will naturally be generating ideas and perspectives that will be adding value to your thinking about work and life. The right time and place for the review. I recommend that you block out 2 hours early in the afternoon of your last workday for the review. The bigger picture reviews. Yes, at some point you must clarify the larger outcomes, the long-term goals, the visions and principles that ultimately drive, test, and prioritize your decisions. What are your key goals and objectives in your work? What should you have in place a year or 3 years from now? How's your career going? Is this the lifestyle that is most fulfilling to you? Are you doing what you really want or need to do from a deeper and longer-term perspective? 9. Engaging, making the best action choices. The 6-level model for reviewing your own work. The 6 levels of work may be thought of in terms of altitude, as in the floors of a building. Horizon 5, life. Horizon 4, long-term visions. Horizon 3, 1 to 2 year goals. Horizon 2, areas of focus and accountability. Horizon 1, current projects. Ground, current actions. It's recommended that you start at the ground, get your action list complete, and then work your way up. 10. Getting projects under control. I've discovered that the biggest improvement opportunity in planning does not consist of techniques for the highly elaborate and complex kinds of project organizing that professional project managers sometimes use, like Gantt charts. You need to set up systems and tricks that get you to think about your projects and situations more frequently, more easily, and more in depth. What projects should you be planning? There are two types of projects, however, that deserve at least some sort of planning activity. 1. Those that still have your attention even after you've determined their next actions, and 2. Those about which potentially useful ideas and supportive detail just show up ad hoc. The first type, the projects that you know have other things about them that must be decided on and organized, will need a more detailed approach than just identifying a next action. For these, you'll need a more specific application of one or more of the other 4 phases of the natural planning model: purpose and principles, vision/outcome, brainstorming, and/or organizing. The second type, the projects for which ideas just show up, ad hoc, when you're on a beach or in a car or in a meeting, need to have an appropriate place into which these associated ideas can be captured. Then they can reside there for later use as needed. Tools matter for supporting project thinking. Some tips. Make sure you always have a method of capturing ideas and information on hand. Keep good writing tools around all the time. Have whiteboards around where you can. The end. I hope you do enjoy watching Getting Things Done Summary. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. See you in next video.